Hello and welcome to my dining room where I've set up a station here and I'm going to be packing up some of my resupply boxes for my thru hike on the Appalachian Trail. I have a plan in mind, and so I thought that I would kind of show you guys a little bit of the method to my madness. I have been collecting lots of things for several months here and I have it all categorized. I have a plan and I'll show you a little bit about how my mind is kind of working and what I'm focusing on, how I'm determining what is going in each box. Now, I know several of you are probably looking at this and thinking, well, this is like a giant waste of time and resources and money sending resupply boxes when you could just resupply along the trail. And for the most part, I kind of agree with you. However, I do have some dietetic considerations. So I am gluten-free and I need to remain that way as much as possible on the trail. I imagine that's not going to be that easy to do as I'm hiking along the trail. I also have a concern and want to focus on mostly an anti-inflammatory diet and maintaining enough protein as I go along. I may be able to do some of that along the way, and I do plan to supplement some of this stuff that I am eating now and resupplying now and resupplying in towns at small businesses, even if it's just a drink or something like that. I do want to support these small local businesses as much as possible along the trail. But my body just is not going to be able to finish the trail more than likely on honey buns and Pop-Tarts. So let me show you what I have in these boxes and then I'll take you along and show you what's going inside. So what we have here in this overflowing tote is my entrees. What I'll be eating mostly at dinner times, sometimes breakfast, probably not often lunches, but maybe sometimes at lunchtime. Most of it, if you've been following any of the other videos that I've put out, I have put out a few of the meals that I made with the recipes that graduate students sent me from IUP. Off camera, I've also been making all sorts of my own recipes and entrees that have been in here, in addition to all the meals that I have made, because it is a lot cheaper and I can control what's going into the foods when I make them myself. However, it is so time consuming and sometimes my freeze dryer doesn't work. So I have also purchased several ready-made meals. So I've got some of this Heather's Choice. I've got Rec Pack over there. I purchased a few others. Now, I have had PackIt Gourmet in the past and really liked them, but they also reached out to me when they found out I was doing the Appalachian Trail, and they sent me several free meals to help support me along the trail. They also gave me a discount code for you guys. If you see what I'm eating along the trail and you like it and want to try it, I'll put my code down in the description below. So if you want to order through my link, you are more than welcome to. But this is kind of where I'm going to start each day off, my calculations of each day off with, and we'll kind of get to that in a minute. And in addition, I've got some hygiene things here. I don't know how many of you have used these before. I've not used them before, but I did get them for Christmas. Santa brought them for me. You take this little tiny puck right here, this compressed puck, add water to it, and this is your wipe. You can, I assume, wipe your whole body. Mostly, I assume you're going to use it for pooping, but other than that, you could probably use it to wipe down, give yourself a little shower too. I know women often have questions about how you handle your menstrual cycle on trail, and if you guys want to talk about that, we can, but although I don't normally use tampons myself, I just figured that will be the easiest thing to do along the trail, so that is what I'll be choosing to do for the next several months. I've got some different peanut butters and things. We have some freeze-dried refried beans. I've kind of categorized fats over here a little bit. I made my own olive oil packets. I just bought the Mylar packets offline, and I have organic olive oil, and I just put, for this one, I believe it's like I don't even know how many grams. I put about a tablespoon. It's marked off in another one. I still have to mark them. And then these bigger ones I put in for a little bit later when I'm probably burning a few more calories and ready to eat a little bit more. I have some of these larger ones. We also have some olive packets, coconut butter. This box is bars, but not protein bars. I have protein bars separate from other bars here. So these are things that maybe are higher in calories, have some decent nutrients in them, but just not a ton of protein. This one is kind of all of my extra things that don't really fit in a specific category. So I've got some walking tamales, I've got some mango sticky rice, moonshine margarita. So on a day where maybe we want to quit or give up, or maybe we're celebrating something, that's where this one will come in. You know, just packets that I've picked up that have been sitting in my little packet drawer and packet shelf. And I thought, well, this is the perfect time to use them. Here we have drink mixes, but not electrolyte drink mixes. So things that are just maybe flavors and things. I've got some hot cocoa. I've got some of these emergency vitamin C flavor. So I guess these aren't necessarily electrolytes, but they are vitamin C packets. Some of these just to give a little bit of flavor along the way so that I don't prefer to drown myself in a river than to drink the water out of it. Here we have all sorts of different types of nuts, some that are plain. Got just a plain sea salt edamame, just some regular roasted pistachios, and then we have different flavors. Apple spiced cashews, and we have some mango habanero, salt and vinegar. We've got some, what is this one? Peppercorn and Parmesan. Anything to spice it up a little. And here is, I guess we could call this the fruit box. A bunch of different freeze-dried and fruit leathers. Different options there. Here, I didn't get as many because these are heavy, but I do enjoy eating these along the way. So I think this will be just a once in a while, kind of like these. They're really for toddlers, but I think they make pretty decent walking snacks. Also, something that will just be once in a while, because again, it's heavy, but I have some marinated veggies here. This one is an asparagus, and of course, I need some sort of a pick-me-up. So this is all just kind of candy and treats. I know nerd clusters are a popular one. One that I don't have unpacked here yet, but I have a bunch of because I love them, and they will be going along probably in just about every single box, is a fruit roll-up. I love fruit roll-ups. I haven't gotten sick of them yet. I always take them hiking. Those will probably go in just about every box as well. This giant box here is completely full of electrolyte packets. Again, I know that a lot of this stuff is stuff that I can get along the trail, and I totally acknowledge that. However, some of these things, like the flavor packets or tuna packets or the peanut butter things, I find them at the discount grocery stores that I am shopping at. I'm going to be sending the box anyway. So in the long term, it does save me some money. I have all sorts of different brands. My favorite one is Element, but I have just a mix of all sorts of different brands and types in there to mix it up along the way. Now is kind of what I have categorized this whole line going down there is the protein line. So I have bone broth here. I still have to, I've made several more batches of it myself. I still have to package it up. So I have these little packets that have bone broth in them. I think this might be like 10 grams of protein. And then I have some beef gelatin powder that I will also package up separately. Something that I noticed is as I was starting to calculate, I've put one box together already. And as I was calculating, I was a little bit low on protein, on what my goal for protein is, what I would prefer to be getting in protein each day, and with being able to mix some things up. So I have a bunch of protein powders, and so I just kind of, same thing. I measured them out and packaged them up myself. I might regret this. This might not last long. I know most people choose to do an either or. They take their stove or they cold soak. I'm sure I'm being a little bit naive and optimistic in my little pre-through hike mind here, thinking that I'm going to carry both and do both. This may last very, very little time, but for now I'm planning on carrying both this Talenti jar for cold soaking and then also a stove for cooking. Got all of my jerkies here, mostly beef jerky, but I've got some turkey jerky and chicken jerky, all sorts of other things. Venison, bison, I'm sure, is probably in there as well. This is all my protein bars. Previously, I would tell you Bear Bells was my very favorite protein bar because they were delicious, but True Bar is quickly gaining on them. I really like the texture of True Bar. Typically, I am not a plant-based protein fan in bars or powders, but something about the True Bar, it's got me hooked. I also mixed up some different yogurts, and so this is mostly, I think, plain and vanilla yogurt with berries and dark chocolate, I think. Maybe some honey. I can't remember what all I put in there, but I do have every recipe calculated and entered into the software that I'm using. And some protein, I guess, pastries, things that are not protein bars, but also aren't just like plain treats or that sort of thing. So I don't know why I categorize them separately, just that I really love categorizing. So I'm guessing that's probably why I did it that way. The way that I am calculating all of this is with Chronometer. I've used other tracking softwares like MyFitnessPal, different things like that, but I just decided to try Chronometer this time around. Supposedly it's very accurate. I've struggled to find quite a few things. When I'm looking up foods with this, I will say I actually prefer MyFitnessPal, but I already paid for a membership for this, so I'm just going to keep using it. I'll show you kind of how I'm looking this over and how I'm calculating different things. So I sort of have been starting with dinners. And for this random day I just picked out to show you, I'm not necessarily eating all of the things at once, but you know, maybe a little bit. So just breaking these things up, what I'm really focused on for myself is making sure that I am getting enough protein in each meal and spreading that out pretty decently. And then, funny enough, fiber was something that I was concerned about making sure that I got enough of. And really, at this point, I'm kind of having to focus on getting a little bit less. I have been trying to make meals with less fiber than what has been in there because a lot of the ingredients that I'm using have a lot of fiber. Then also these protein bars and different things also have a decent amount of fiber added in there. So I am going to have a lot of fiber. You can see it kind of breaks down how many calories in the day, how much protein, carbs, and fats. Right now, 2,400 calories, just about, rounded up a little to 2,500. Is that enough for hiking? I don't know. But I'm also kind of calculating in that we'll probably have some town stops in here. So I'll be able to supplement a little bit of this with some town foods, some town resupplies. I'm sure there's going to be some trail magic along the way. And so I don't want to be carrying more than is necessary. But I mean, really, if I do end up carrying more than is necessary and I want to get rid of some of it, there's always hiker boxes and there's always a hungry hiker looking to mooch food. So if you're hungry along the way and you aren't getting on my nerves, then I'll probably give you my food if I have a lot left over. Something else I really like about this is that it shows a lot of the different vitamins and minerals. So I can see where some of things are kind of lacking that I may need to supplement with. I do plan to take a few different vitamins with me, just a regular multivitamin so that I make sure that I'm hitting most of these spots that aren't quite in there. Then also a few others. I'm not going to take my regular full amount of vitamins and supplements that I normally do because it just gets to be too much. But there will be a couple that I'll be taking with me. All right, so let's put a box together. We decided to go with flat rate shipping boxes because shipping is out of control. Shipping prices are absolutely nuts. Where we live in Pennsylvania, we've determined after I packed one box up already a while ago. I packed this box up, we weighed it, and we determined that it was way cheaper to send this medium flat rate priority box anywhere in the US than to put it in just a regular box and ship it that way. You can just get online and order flat rate boxes. And before you come at me for using these small flat rate boxes to categorize some of my different items, we have an antique business and we used to ship a lot more than what we ship now. And maybe 5 years ago or so, we placed an order for flat rate envelopes. And they sent us, and I think some other things as well, but they sent us these small flat rate boxes by mistake. And we went to a couple post offices, tried to return them and say, hey, can anybody use these? Here, take them. And they said, no, we don't want them back. We can't take them. Just use them. Like, use them at home for whatever you're going to use them for. Throw them away. We don't really care. And we were like, okay. So I've been using them for this for now. And they'll get reused for other things, I'm sure. And maybe someday it'll make sense to use them to ship with again. I mean, I don't know. We're putting together a 4-day resupply box. I'm separating each day and putting each one in a different, I mean, I want to call it a Ziploc bag, but it's the Aldi brand of Ziploc bags. I've got gallon bags here, and I'll just separate them that way. First thing is first, I'm going to pick out my dinner entree. Right now, I don't know what I'll be in the mood for, so I'm just gonna pick one off of the top here. This is a lasagna. Every time I made a recipe, I entered it into the app here, so all I have to do is type it in. Let's see, backcountry lasagna. Got a full recipe. Right, go ahead and throw it in there. As I'm kind of separating these, that has 42 grams of protein. So I'll probably add a few things to that afterward, but I'm kind of just getting my main components right now of each meal time and snack time, and then we'll go from there. Breakfast, let's do, for this day, let's do a yogurt that maybe I'll cold soak in the morning while I'm getting some things put together. Let's try one of the antioxidant yogurt. And that one has 37 grams of protein in it. So we're off to a really good protein start for the day. All right, and now for lunch. What am I gonna feel like for lunch? Who knows? So far, I haven't done any of the protein powders or anything in the previous week. So for lunch, maybe we'll do a protein powder. I don't love to cook at lunchtime, and maybe that's something I have to kind of get around and let myself have time to rest at lunch and do a full lunch. But typically when I'm hiking, during the day, I kind of like to just eat my lunch as I'm walking, kind of snack through lunch, not even eat an official lunch. And I don't stop to rest either at lunchtime. So I don't know how I'll be feeling. I don't know how that will change during that time. But for now, let's go with the protein powder. 32 grams. 24 grams of protein. And what kind of snacks do we want? I do want to keep up with drinking a bone broth every day. So that'll be something maybe I just sort of mix up and drink as I'm walking. We could put that in the snacks. Vanilla, no. We're gonna let's go with the beef. So far for the day, we have 113 grams of protein, and I'd like a little bit more in there. Even though I'm just talking about how I don't want to do the beef sticks or the jerky, I am going to, at lunchtime, add a couple chomp sticks here. They have 12 grams of protein a piece. This one is the original turkey. Just about 140 grams of protein in there for the day. And we're only at about 1,400 calories, so I'm just gonna kind of go in and backfill everything from there. I'm gonna Add one of these asparagus in there. We're gonna go with a pro meal bar. We'll add that to lunch. Got some bananas in there. We'll go ahead and add those. I'm gonna throw a couple olive oil packets in there. Of course, we're gonna need a little bit of something sweet. Throw in a bag of these gummy clusters. This bag right here has 2,640 calories, 155 grams of protein, 335 grams of carbs, and 77 grams of fat. There is a finished box that will not be mailed out. This one is one that my husband will bring down to me, and this has the food that I'll take when he hikes with me for several days, and then whatever's left over that I don't pack will be what I take after he leaves. That'll be kind of a little bit of the resupply for after he leaves. And at this point, I am almost finished. I believe I have very close to all of my boxes packed with lots of leftover food here. So I think just anytime that anyone comes to visit, if they do come down, if my husband comes down or other family or friends, I'll just throw all of this leftover stuff in a big tote. And whenever they come, I'll have them bring it with them, and I can pick maybe some extra things out of that if I want it, or share it along the trail for anybody that we pick up along the way. The last thing left to do is to get these babies ready to ship out. So all I'm doing, the first one is going to mountain crossings. That'll be, I think, the first resupply point that we get to, and the first place that really is kind of convenient to get a resupply box. I believe when I was looking at their website, they do have a $10 holding fee for their boxes, which I think is reasonable. They do request that you put your name and ETA on all sides of the box. So we're just gonna do that now. And then I'll just make sure that I have my ID ready to go whenever I go to pick this up. We're actually leaving tomorrow for Georgia. I'm in Pennsylvania, and my husband is going to drive my hiking partner and I down to Georgia tomorrow night so that we get there. It's a Friday. We'll get there on a Saturday morning. We will get everything done we need to do. We'll attend Mass either Saturday evening or Sunday morning, and then we'll hit the trail Sunday morning. We are sending our first 2 boxes out before we leave. Although priority boxes, these are priority flat rate boxes, I think they're supposed to get to you within, previously I thought it was 2 business days. I believe that is now 3 or 4 business days. One of our postal workers told us that, but you need to give like 5 to 6 business days just in case. I don't know if any of you have dealt with the post office lately, but it's a mess. Every time we ship something or have something shipped, there's always an issue with it. So we're just going to go ahead and send the first 2 boxes out before we even leave. That way, hopefully they're there. I don't want to address or ship any after that, because although I have an idea of where we're going to be and when, we may do more miles, we may do fewer miles, we might have to stop for something. I just don't know where we're gonna be, so we're gonna wait until it gets closer to send those next ones and decide where we are sending them. I believe I have all sides covered. The next time I see you guys, actually the next time you see me, I think I have 2 more videos to come out. I will be posting or trying to post when I'm on the trail every day, but I will have a little bit of a delay on it just to make sure I have editing done, and for safety reasons, I don't want anyone to know exactly where I'm at all the time. So I guess I will see you guys out on the trail in a few weeks.